I want to show you how to get net present value using Excel. How do we do this? I'll come and say equals. Of course, in Excel, to activate the cell, you must always start by saying equals. So you say equals. The functionality I want to use is called NPV. So I write NPV, I can see it is coming here in blue color. So I'll come and say tab there. When I say tab there, they want me to give them the required rate. The rate of return is what we call in finance, the cost of capital, what I shall be calling the COC. So the COC here is 10%. And then I'll come and say comma. From there, they're guiding me. They would want me to start capturing value 1, value 2, etc., not from value 0. They want me to give them value from period 1. So I'll come and in this case here, pick all these cash flow values. And then of course I will highlight all of them like that. From there, what do? I'll be able to come and say close brackets because I've been able to capture the future. I've been able to capture the future cash flows using the discounting rate, cost of capital given. Now there is one cash flow that I have not been able to capture yet. This is the initial outlay. And this initial outlay, normally it's never discounted because the figure is going to be in a card today. So I'm supposed to say here minus the initial outlay, but you see the initial outlay already is a negative. So what I'm supposed to do, if I say minus and then this is a minus, it's like I'll be adding. So in this case here, what I'll do, I'll come and say just here plus the initial outlay, which is 10 like that. And then I should happily say control what here, enter like that. So what am I getting? I'm getting a huge figure, but again, it's not lost on me that when I was writing this 10%, I configured all these cells down to only take percentages, right? So what I need to do is to go to my home here. I can see this thing is in percentage form. I'll be able to click on this figure down here and then say I want a general number. So you can see it is 12.059, which is the same as 12.06. There is one thing that, hey, you guys of finance forgot. There is one thing that everybody here today forgot. What is it that these guys forgot, all of them? Ladies and gentlemen, from today, I would want you to be writing the word accept whenever you get, or viable, yes. Whenever you get a project's net present value being positive, then automatically that means that the project is what here viable. Any project whose NPV is positive is what here is viable, So first of all, the students who did this thing physically, right? Traditionally, by hand. And we have been able to confirm this figure using what here, Excel. How do you feel? How do you feel if your answer is correct? If your answer is correct, how do you feel? Put a thumbs up like this. If you never got it, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here correctly, but you tried, you put your thumbs across like this. But of course, if you got it wrong, now you put it down. Great, great. I can see my friend Sasiet is here. Kerubo, perfect. Great. So then I would want us to now write down in Excel. I would want us to copy down these figures in Excel. Please put down these figures very fast. Put 0 to 4. Put down your cash flows. Don't write the NPV. The NPV, I would want in this case here to delete this NPV because I want us to do it practically. So I would want to delete this, the whole of it. So once you write the information that is here, could you kindly put your thumbs up? Could you kindly put your thumbs up? So a different concept, normally what will happen, these people will come and give you dates. They'll give you exact dates because that is now finance. They'll give you dates there. They'll give you these cash flows. 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 So in this case here, the dates, perhaps, you must check the date which is here. Like now, this one, they're starting with the month. They're starting with the month there. So they're starting with the month here. So in this case here, month, like now, we can talk of 12, 31st. We talk over 31st, sorry. We talk of what year? We talk over 2017. 2017. We come to the second one, we have 12 here. We have 31st. I could copy this down very easily, but let's just do this today manually. So we are told here we have 12. The starting with the month is American system, 31st. And then we have, in this case here, 2019, and then we have via 12 again, 31st, comma, 2020. Let me see, these are supposed to be 5 of them, yes, 2020. These are supposed to be 5 of them. So we have here, the last one is 12, comma, we have 31st, stroke, 2021. And then the cash flows are the same. I would want us to maintain the cash flows. So we have here minus 10. We have the next one is 8. The next one is 5. The next one is 6. The next one is 9, like that. And then they want me to give them a net present value. Of course, cost of capital, the COC still remains. The COC still remains. COC is 10%. COC is 10%. Okay, COC is 10%. COC is 10%, like that. COC is 10%. COC is 10%. So then how do I get this net present value? If you try, for example, saying net present value, the normal one, NPV, check here what will happen. If I use the normal one, NPV, the cost of capital is given there. I come and say comma, and then I have in this case here the values, then I will not be right in this case here because this normal NPV does not have provision for dates. When they want you to give them NPV and you are given a dates by the side, you must make use of what we call the XNPV. So we normally use XNPV whenever we are given dates of cash flows. Whenever you are given dates of cash flows, if I say escape there, whenever I'm given dates of the various cash flows, then I'll always make use of what we call equals XNPV. And you can see it has even come here. It returns the net present value for scheduled cash flows, When I take this up here, XNPV, you can see it is asking for the rate, the values, and the dates. So then I'll start with the rate here, which is 10%. Then I say comma, then I'll be able to come and pick the values. Now here it has not told you start from value 1. Here you pick all of them. You pick all the values from the first one given. You pick all of them like that. And then now you'll come and say comma. The next thing here is the dates. So you come and pick the dates. Like that. If you do like that, ladies and gentlemen, and then you say enter, you'll be able to see the 12.0 whatever, quite close to what we had obtained up there, right? Quite close to whatever we had obtained up there. All right. So before I show you something very nice, I would want you again to just copy the dates and the cash flows and try using this new XNPV, and then I'll be able to explain better why is XNPV very important. Why is it very important? So is there somebody who has been able to copy down the dates vis-a-vis the cash flows? You copy down the dates vis-a-vis the cash flows. Please copy down the dates vis-a-vis the cash flows. Please do that. You can copy exactly the dates that I have here. Great. Once you finish, as usual, put your thumbs up. Remember, NPV is quite an important project appraisal tool. Before you marry, it will be very important for you to use net present value to evaluate potential. Let me just finish it like that, to evaluate potentials. If there is a potential partner who is going to be a liability, of course, her or his NPV will come up as what here negative. You say no to those ones. They're liabilities. Don't marry such kind of a character. XNPV the most important. You know how these cash flows behave, ladies and gentlemen, it will be very hard. Remember in finance, when I was teaching most of you here, I taught you advanced financial management and even the basic financial management. And we said that we are assuming that the project cash flows will be coming at the end of each year. That's a lie. If you have a matatu business, you're going to be getting cash flows every day. So then the dated cash flows are very important. If you're running a college like RCM Online College, you are getting your cash flows every day. So we want to have these cash flows like that. Others are cash outflows on a daily basis, and I should be able, so long as I have their dates, then XNPV becomes a very, very powerful tool, because XNPV will be able to prorate the cost of capital even on a daily basis, assuming, for example, this date here, if I come here and say F2, if I come here and say F2, all right, and perhaps in this case here, change these to which month? I can talk of, for example, June. I can talk of June, that I got some monies. I expect to get some monies on the June of whichever date. It could even be, it doesn't have to be even end of the month. It can be any date. So talk of what here, for example, talk of 12th. Say enter. Automatically you'll see this thing changing, because XNPV, ladies and gentlemen, has been made in a way that it is able to prorate this cost of capital to even on a daily basis, So somebody asked me a very good question here, that if, for example, I'm going to be making decisions whether I should buy a matatu or not, what you need to do basically is to go to a close friend of yours. This close friend of yours, if they have been capturing their cash flows on a daily basis, day number 1, we got this. Day number 2, we got 3,000. Day number 3, we were caught up in this case here by crazy traffic policemen, and they even took money. So that's a negative. So you put a date and negative cash flow. And of course, as you put that negative cash flow, cast those policemen, cast them. Right? And then of course you finish in this case here all the year cash flows, and then you go to the treasury rate, the treasury bill rate. Now the treasury bill rate is what you use as your cost of capital, and then you'll be able to get what you call net present value. Have we understood that concept? Can I go to a different concept? Have you understood that concept? Because mine is to basically guide you, how do we do these things in practice? And then of course, now you guys will be able to got an error value. Thank you very much, Lawrence, for coming up with that. Any other person here? Is this that it's very important for you to ensure that you know the format of your date. And how do you check? You simply say control semicolon, and then the date comes there. So you'll be able to know, like now these guys, the way this is American system, it's coming first month and then days. Or I check down here, I'll be able to see down here. Gerald Simiu, I don't know what is happening with his video. It keeps on coming, and my internet is not very strong. Okay, just mute your video totally, Jared. Thank you. So you'll have to know the format. Now I was trying to explain something here. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I would want you to shine at your workplaces. And how do you do that? Start being very practical. You can, for example, like now tomorrow, check like one of the projects that you guys have. Pick the cash flows of that project. Pick it physically, like every day. How much have we been generating from this project? Right? Capture the dates, etc. Vis-a-vis whenever you have what negative outflows, negative cash flows. Go to central bank's website. Pick the weighted average treasury bill rate, the average. Use that as your cost of capital, and then tell your people that since we began this thing, it's like it has never even broken even, because you're still at negative net present value. That's how you start attracting a lot of value, a lot of respect at your workplace, right? And you can track down any expenditure, so long as it's an asset which you are able to distinguish, and of course get its own cash flows. I think I need to do one of these fine days, a very practical one, but I hope somebody has been able to pick this and that will be able to run with this board. So what I would want to do here today again is something very important. What if in this project, somebody tells you, hey, I don't want, let me repeat this. If I want to get NPV here, I'll come and say NPV. I say tab here. So NPV, they want the rate is the cost of capital. I say comma. And then they want me to give them value 1. So from value 1 from here, they want me to give them from value 1 like that. And then I should be able to say, in this case here, close bracket. And then I say plus, so shift plus the initial outlay there like that. And then I should be able to say enter, which gives me this ugly figure. I simply need to come and change this to what here to a general number. Now, what if, for example, they want me to give them IRR? What if they want me to give them IRR? IRR is the internal rate of return. That rate of return at which the project's NPV is 0, the break-even rate of return. How do I do it? It's very easy. I'll come and say here equals. I say IRR. It's already coming. It's already coming. So in this case here, IRR, I'll come and say in this case here, I pick it. So they want me to give them values. These are the cash flows. I'll pick them from here. I pick them from there, all of them. And then you can see they're telling me to guess. Remember IRR in most cases, the way we taught you, IRR you're supposed to guess. But for Excel, you don't have to guess nothing. And you can see when this guess is in square bracket. Anything in Excel which is in square bracket is hot air. You don't need it. So simply go there and say enter. So it is telling us that if the rate of return is 58%, then the net present value will be 0. The net present value will be 0. Listen to me very well. I would want in this case here to expand this a little bit in the form of what here? In the form of decimals. I would want to expand this in the form of decimals a bit. And then I would want to copy this. I say copy. I put this in our cost of capital. Instead of the cost of capital being 10%, let's see how this NPV will behave. So I'm simply pasting this Control V. What happened here? No worries. What I'll do, I'll simply come here, type 58.257, 58.257, 248, 245, etc. percent like that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I was to put in this case here, this thing as percent, you can see what is happening to our NPV. Our NPV is coming to 9.9 whatever times 10 raised to minus 0.0, raised to minus 8. Do you know what this stands for? Do you know in this case here that this is a very small number? This is the same as what here? This is the same as 0.0000000, 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them, and then 9. 9. So I need to come here and put a decimal. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, this is what here, this is exactly 0. So what does this mean? I would want to repeat this again. Allow me to repeat this again in a way somebody will be able to understand this thing, ladies and gentlemen. IRR, internal rate of return. Internal rate of return is that rate of return that will yield an NPV of what here? 0. An NPV of 0. And how do I calculate this IRR? It's very easy without even proving anything. To get this IRR, what we do, ladies and gentlemen, if we are given in this case here, this kind of a project, let me just come back here. If you're given this kind of a project, ladies and gentlemen, and then they want me to give them IRR, it's very easy. I will come here and say IRR is what they want me to give them. So I'll come and say equals IRR. I pick it, the values. The values are here. I'll pick all of them without starting with 1. because they're not specific. So I'm picking all of them. I don't have to close bracket. I simply need to come and say enter. I'm getting this 58 point whatever percent. 58 point whatever percent. And for example, if they would want me to come and give them NPV using this IRR, this is what I'll do. I'll come and say NPV. I'll come and say NPV like that. So once I pick this NPV, they want me to give them the rate. The rate is that one. So I say comma. I pick from value 1. Value 1 is here. I pick from value 1 up to there. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and say, not comma, but close bracket. I say plus. Now, if you're following, plus this initial outlay. If you're following, before I say enter, what value of NPV do you expect Mwalimu to get here? Is there somebody who can make a wild guess? What is the value of NPV do you expect Mwalimu will get there? What is the value of NPV do you expect Mwalimu to get there? How I wish the students here were listening to me. How I wish the students here. Thank you so much. It is 0 because I'm using IRR rate. I'm using internal rate of return. So I expect to get what there. When I say control enter, I expect to get what here as 0 NPV. It's not supposed to be in the form of percentage like that. So general is supposed to be what here, just a 0 net present value. So is there somebody who has been able to do this and they got IRR of 58 by a show of a hand? Is there somebody who is able to tell us, hey, I did this and I was able to get IRR of 58? Is there somebody who has been able to get this? Is there somebody who has been able to get this really? Is there somebody who has been able to get this? Evelyn, yes. Veronica, yes. Faith, she's even dancing, which is very good. Wangare, yes. Great. So we are looking at this situation called annuities. And the annuities have a very good example here for you. You have cash flows per annum of 10, number of years. I'm going to enjoy this 10 every year for 12 years. Initial outlay is 50, negative 50. It's a cash outflow. And then the cost of capital has been given as 8.53. So then they would want us to get NPV. And I'm trying to explain here really that NPV will be, first of all, you must use present value, not net present value, but present value. Because this present value gives us the present value of an investment, which is the total amount that a series of future payments is worth now, a series. Like now, these are series, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12 times. So then I'll be able to take this up there, present value. The rate is this 8.53. And then you can see the next thing they want me to give them is the number of periods. Number of periods is a number of years. They are 12, right? I say comma. From there, they want me to capture payment. But you see the payment, this is a cash inflow. This confuses very many students, but it can't confuse you guys. They are calling it payment that I'm paying. But you see, it's supposed to be the opposite. I'm supposed to be receiving. So what I'll do, I'll come and say minus this cash flow of 10. To negate their name, payment. It's not a payment. It's not a payment. It's a cash inflow. So to negate this, whenever I see payment, I must put a negative there. And then I should be able to come at a close bracket like that. And then I should be able to come and say plus now my initial outlay like that. So are you able to do that, ladies and gentlemen, yourselves? Are you able to do that yourselves with this example? Is there somebody who can just do this very fast? And then they tell me, hey, Mwalimu, as I dance, I have gotten this correctly. I've gotten this correctly. I've gotten this correctly. I've gotten this correctly. If you have a computer wherever you are, if you have a computer wherever you are, if you have a computer wherever you are you able to confirm that Mwalimu, this one, I've been able to get it really? Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry about the dollars. Configuring that is quite an easy thing. It's quite an easy thing. It's quite an easy thing. So is there somebody who has been able to get this really? That for annuities, we shall be using present values. 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 Thank you so much. Is there anybody who would want me to repeat this really, or now can I move to something different? Remember, the beautiful thing with these online classes is that I'll be able to share this video with you. So later on, you'll be able to get a point, or rather a source of reference, I'll be able to share this with you, and then later on, you'll be able to refer. You will be able to refer. Done. So Gordon wants me to repeat. Gordon, repeat quickly. These are very easy thing. Just follow slowly. You'll be able to see what I've done. Equals here. Follow slowly. Present value. Tab. I'm taking this up. The rate is the cost of capital. I say comma. Number of periods is a number of years. I say 12. I say comma there. Payment start with negative. Whenever you see payment, start with negative because really this is a cash inflow. So I need to negate this word payment. It's supposed to be a positive figure, right? So I need to negate this payment because I'm receiving, I say minus, and I know that's why you're confusing. So I pick the cash flow there, and then I should be able to say close bracket, and then you come and say plus. You say plus there, and then be able to pick, in this case here, the initial outlay, this one there, like that. Thank you so much. You get that 23.3, and then you tell your bosses that, you know what, this is a positive NPV, so the project is viable. The project is viable. And if you allow me, ladies and gentlemen, then I will be able to take you to something a little bit different. Just a little bit. Things that you as an accountant are supposed to be knowing. Now, these simple things, like how do I convert this to an uppercase, lower, proper? So you'll go and get some stupid fella who has written a report to you in Excel and did not even consider this thing of upper, right? Or you want to convert like the entire word into an uppercase, no worries. I'll simply come here and say equals. I know there is an upper function. I can see it is there. And then they want me to pick the entire text. I pick it like that. Without even a closing bracket, I say enter. It's giving me the whole word in form of what here? Capital letters. Upper means capital letters. And if I would want, for example, to convert this to small letters, what do? I'll simply come and say here, small is of course lower. Converts all letters in a text string to lowercase. So I'll be able to say here tab, and then I pick, like, you can't pick from the center, you pick from the beginning there. Then you say like that. It converts all of them, right? But if you want a proper, remember proper. If it's a noun, we expect the word Joshua, J, to be in capital, and then all the other letters to be small. So if you would want proper, like now this one here, you want proper, you simply come and say equals, you say proper. You say proper. You say proper. And then you pick your word like that. And then you say like that. So the word comes with the first letter being in capital letters. Like that. I hope this is helpful. I hope you've been able to follow this. Done? Great. Great. They're not responding. These guys are not responding. Many of them are not. You type anything. You can even type your name. You see, I know what is disturbing you guys. You know, I've taught Excel for so long, so I know what is disturbing you guys is something very simple. Something very simple is what is disturbing. Somebody wants, you don't have to work with my letters. You can come here and, for example, assume somebody has written to you, like now, Jerome, like that. And then you feel sad. I mean, how would he start my name with what here? A small letter. And then you would want to change this. So you can come and say straight away, this one I would want to make it proper. I say tab like that. And then I pick the text itself. I say enter. Now it's okay. If I want the whole of this, for example, to be in uppercase for some reason, equals upper. Tab, pick Jerome, like that. Say, so can I move to a different concept, ladies and gentlemen? Can I move to a different concept, ladies and gentlemen? This is very important for you. I wish I knew this platform earlier. You would not have failed, for example, an interview of Excel. Just when you thought you knew Excel. Great, great, great. Mwalimu here. Mwalimu will be able to go straight away to another concept here. Simple things like here. Like I normally use this quite a lot at my workplace. I use Excel quite a lot. So for example, you're given here like doppel, kuplu, whatever. This is quite it must be a German word. Don't even know what it stands for, but I just wanted to use it to complicate your life. At times in this case, it's good to complicate students' lives. So, and then for example, you want some left. For example, you just want 3 characters out of this. So what I'll do, I'll come and say equals. And then I'll be able to use the left function. So when I type like that, the left is here. They want me to give them the text. So first of all, I pick the whole text like that. And then they want number of characters. Number of characters here, I'll be able to say comma first. Number of characters, perhaps I want 3. And then I say enter. So I'm able to pick DOP. This may not make sense to you right now. But when I go to this, especially, I'll also be taking you through what we call Python programming for those ones who would want to work with me. It's an entire journey really of data analytics, right? When I take you to programming, you'll be able to understand so many things why we're studying them in Excel, because Excel is the mother of all. Excel is the mother of all. Now, what if, for example, you wanted like the right? Like, for example, you wanted this tribe. This tribe is 1, 2, 3, 4. I can even pick Ebe alone. So from the right side, so I'll come and say equals. I say right. Right is there. So the text is this, the whole of this. And then I say comma. So because I want Ebe, these are 4 characters from the right. So I say 4 characters from, I say enter. You can see it's coming as Ebe. And then we have the mid. At times you may want something in this case here at the middle here. At the middle. So you come and say equals, you say mid, yes, tab. The text is this as well as usual. I say comma, start. So you must tell them the start number. Maybe I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want this elku. So I would want to start from number 5. And then I say comma, they want now a number of characters. So if it's elku, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I can even talk of elkup. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I put 6 there. So maybe that's the word I want from the middle like that. So I'll be able to say enter like that. And then I have this, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know which word you guys chose to work with, but I would want to presume that this small concept that I've given you here, you've been able to master it. But unless there is really somebody who is saying, Mwalimu, repeat again, I believe whatever I have done, it basically gives you a foundation to really just go and do what here, study this. I worked with my last name. Great. So please, if you would wish me now to go to the last concept of today, put your thumbs up. If you would wish Mwalimu to go to the last concept, Nancy is telling me to repeat. I don't have a problem with that, but I would want to get feedback from many of them. I can see T doing it like this. Samuel Waidaida. Gerald Simiu, great. Suyanka, great. Aziza, great. So for the sake of my sister Nancy is a lady you have come with from very far. She really promotes my business always. So in this case here, mid. You see mid for middle. So like that. Assuming, for example, I want from here, right? So the first thing that they want me to do is to come and highlight the entire text, right? The start number. Maybe I want just this PPE. So I'll say from number 3. So in this case here, the start number is from number 3, from PPE. The first P is 3rd position. So I'll say 3 like that. And then I'll be able to say how many letters are in PPE? There are 3 again, by coincidence, 3. I don't have to close anybody's bracket. I'll be able to say enter. I have the PPE coming up. So it's called left, right, mid. Left, right, mid. left, right, mid. So Nancy, my sister, I hope now you're okay, and you'll be able to release breaks for me to go to the next concept, which is the last concept of today, which is the concatenate. Concatenate. Concatenate means put together. Concatenate means put together. Concatenate means put together. So Nancy, I'm waiting for your feedback. Can I proceed now? Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So to concatenate is to put together, is to marry things in Excel. Concatenate. Now, concatenate, this is a spelling here. Concatenate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to use another one. I don't want that. I don't want this. I would want to use another one. I would want to use this. Now, assuming we are recruiting people, here. So we have in this case here the first name. We have in this case here the last name. So first name is Joshua. We have last name, which is my father's name. The surname is Aura. Who else do I know? There are two names. Let me go back here. We have here Nancy McKenna. Nancy McKenna. Who else do I know? Njugush. Njugush, what is your first name, Njugush? What is your first name, Njugush? Is it John or some? Njuguna ni wengi sana. I'll guess Njugush come Gordon, eh? Gordon Ware, yes. Gordon Ware, yes. Gordon Ware, yes. We have here Gordon Ware. And Gordon Ware, you owe Mwalimu a soda, right? So here we are. You would want to put in this case here their full name in one cell. Their full name in one cell. So how do I put this? How do I do this? I should be able to concatenate. And to concatenate, there are two ways of concatenating. You can come and say equals, you pick Joshua, and then you pick what here, somebody, ampersand. The ampersand is this sign which you call and, which is on top of number 7, ampersand. Ampersand. So you're connecting Joshua with Aura. All right. And then you say, of course, controlled enter. Now there is one problem with this. It has come concatenated, but in a bad way. Is there somebody who is able to see the mistake there? Is there somebody who is able to see the mistake here? Is there somebody who is able to see the mistake here? Is there anybody who is able to see the mistake here? These guys are not able to see the mistake, really. These guys are not able to see them. There is no space between Joshua, Aura. So I'll be able to come back to F2 here. So then how do I introduce the space? How do I introduce the space? I'll come back here. It means, ladies and gentlemen, that I must come here and introduce what we call quotation marks. I must introduce quotation marks. So I'll come and say here, shift, open quotations, close quotations. I say another and, because now I'm connecting the quotations with F4. I say another and, like that. So then I am connecting here E4 to this space, and then this space being connected to F4. But now there is actually two problems. You see, between these quotation marks, I need to put a space. So I'll put my cursor here and put a space there. And then now between this and, or rather, for you to understand this even better, there's somebody who's drawing. For you to understand even this better, let me do a mistake here. What if I go and say Control Enter? If I go and say Control Enter, what am I seeing there? Joshua Aura with what here? Somebody with a space in between. Joshua Aura with a space in between. It's like they're not seeing my screen. Okay. Oh, they are not seeing my screen. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much for raising up your hand. Let me see. Are you able to see my screen now? Are you able to see my screen now? Are you able to see my screen now? Please confirm, and thanks, Kabuba. I can see you're trying to call me. Kabuba is a right person. right person, right colleague, comrade to work with. Thank you so much. So they're telling me now it's okay now. Then I'll be able to start here from scratch. I'll be able to start from scratch. Remember what I did, ladies and gentlemen, at first. I wrote here first name and last name. And then now here I'm required to come and write the full name. So I'll be able to delete this. So then how do I do this? I'll be able to come and say equals, I pick Joshua, and then I concatenate. I use the ampersand. The ampersand, so I'll be able to say here shift 7, the ampersand, or you call it and. Joshua Aura, like that. So when I do it that way and say control enter, what am I seeing? Quite a concatenated name, but without space. A concatenated name without space. But now how do I introduce this space? It's very easy. What I'll do, ladies and gentlemen, I will come and start again because now I can see a problem there. So I'll be able to come and say equals, I pick Joshua, and then I say concatenate with an and then I say Aura. But now I'll be able to remember that I need to introduce a space in between. How do I introduce a space in between? I'll come back there to where I have the first ampersand. Where I have the first ampersand, I'll come and say open quotation. I close quotation again, right? And then I should be able to introduce another ampersand. Why am I introducing this other ampersand? It's because I would want to connect this E4 to the space and then the space to F4. And then now remember there is something I haven't yet done here. I need to come at the middle of these two quotation marks and say space. And then I say enter. When I say enter there, everything is fine. And then when I've done that, I'll be able to come and put this cursor here. The angry rabbit, the crosshair. Once I put it there, I'll be able to double click. I'll be able to get Nancy McKenna, Gordon Ware coming up with space in between. This is so important for an accountant. Very important for an accountant. And I know most of you have seen dust, but I would want to see whether there is anybody who has been able to understand it a little bit. A little bit. This is so important. Just try it. I'm giving you 1 minute. I'm giving you 1 minute. I can see Jairus Nzoka. Jairus Nzoka, we did CPA with you long time ago. Now that CPA has become what here? Still, you need to come back to my class, Jairus, and do data analytics. So I want to see whether there is anybody who has been able to coin their own names there, and it has worked. He is saying it has worked. It has worked. It has worked. It has worked. Who else is saying that this thing is really working? Who else is saying that this thing is really working? Who else is saying that this thing itakuwa hapo doc? Great, Jairus. I'm waiting to get you, to see you in my class. Great. Mother, great. Mother is saying this thing is nice. It's working. It's working now. It's working now. It's working now. It's working now. It is working now. Brilliant. It works in Jewish. Great. Very good. Jacqueline, that is the very best thing you can ever do to yourself. Shining with Excel at your workplace. Shining with Excel at your workplace. You know, like myself, what I normally do, at times I'll go and get like one time, I got my boss doing this. One time, let me show you things that I normally get. And I normally laugh at them so much. So one time I got my boss doing this. So if this is F2, laugh at all of them. Tell them I'm the one who has given you chance to laugh. So we have, for example, whatever we have here, Nancy, for example, she has another name there. Let's give her another PPPP. Gordon Ware here, perhaps he has another name. Let's give Ware, for example, a like that. So I come and then I realize that my boss has seen that, like now Nancy PPPP, Joshua W. she has realized that these things are not really doing what you're fitting onto the cell. And then I get my boss now doing like this. I get my boss doing like this. I tell my boss, no, you can't do like that to see these things. My boss, please listen to me. I know you are senior to me, but please allow me to help you. Go here, say control all, highlight everything, and then go to any cell on top here, any cell at the middle when you see this funny cross, like the Catholic cross, and then you double click. Once you do that, now every other word automatically stretches to fit, right? And these are the kind of things that I did up to date, which makes me to be appointed in all projects that my company is doing. I'm always the lead in terms of programming it. Not that I'm very good, but I know how to help my boss. You look and get, for example, a boss who is trying to write products. Like they want to write here 1 up to 2. You get them. I always see them. They're doing like 1, 2, 3. No, you tell them, hey, why are you doing that? I mean, even if I don't know Excel, if I were you, I would just come and write a few of them and then come and put this angle rabbit here and then I drag. So namuuliza unataka kwenda paka wapi? Anaambia mwalimu huyu nataka kufika hata, for example, maybe hata 420 what? 425 na release. Inakuja 425. Amna kama mimi ni genius. Utapata mshahara inaongezeka tu. No. It's called Excel. Excel is a beautiful thing. Excel is a beautiful thing. Excel is a beautiful thing. So, and that's what I would want you guys. I like what Njugush is saying here, that one day Njugush was able to show them how F2 is used to check the formula. And then they thought that now Njugush is a genius. Let me see this. Some is saying somebody who knows like all these things, but earning peanuts. I don't know. Maybe some I would need to talk to you and then see how good you are. We give you interview at our place. I'm so sure some haujatosha mboga in terms of Excel. You'll be able to, you'll be surprised. Just take my number, Sam. Call me tomorrow. 0721. Don't joke with Excel. Don't joke with Excel. If you know Excel very well, you can't be getting peanuts. Companies will even fight for you. That's my number. Call me tomorrow. We talk business. Great. Thank you so much. Great. So this concatenation, I started stories. Have we understood it, all of us? Have we understood this concatenation, all of us, or would you want me to repeat? The concatenation, have you understood it, all of us? Have we understood it, all of us? Or would you want Mwalimu to repeat stars? Great. Repeat, I'll be able to repeat. Repeat, those repeats are very many, I'll be able to repeat. Sarah, repeat. Okay, great. So then I'm repeating here very fast. I'm repeating here very fast. So then what I would want to do, ladies and gentlemen, here is to write some other new things. So I have here first name. We have last name. We have here Mary, Kasui. We have John, Njuguna. And maybe we have, don't remember my students very well. Gordon Wade, I've already used him. Shalabakama can use him as many times as I wish. Kwaniko nini. Like that. Tab. Ware. Now here you are, somebody comes and gives you quite an easy assignment. No, full name. Great. So then you'll come here and say equals. You pick Mary the way Mary is there. You say and, the ampersand. Ampersand is the one that is on top of number 7. On top of number 7. Number 7, you'll be able to see that and. And then you pick Kasui. So if you concatenate like that, then you need to have a space in between. You need to create space. How to create space? Just go back there, right? Say open quotation. Nope. Shift. Open quotation, open quote, close quotation. And then you introduce another ampersand. Don't forget to introduce another ampersand, right? And then please come back to these quotation marks and ensure that put your cursor inside there. And ensure that you put a space, because that is what you wanted to achieve. And then you say Control Enter. You want to see Mary Kasui coming, concatenated, put together on one cell. You can expand this like my boss. Expand this like my boss. Yeah, now you can see Mary Kasui concatenated there with a space in between. And then now if you fear the double click, just come and drag this down like that. To be able to get John Njuguna, Gordon Ware like that. And now that marks the end of my today's session. It's my hope that you've really enjoyed being here. I show you the second way. I show you the second way. I show you the second way. Once you've known one of them, you stick with that. You stick with that. You stick with that. You stick with that. Now, if you want the second way, you'll come and say equals. You use concatenate. It's called concatenate. It's here the second one. Now, the concatenate, so they're telling you to pick Mary, right? Mary, and then the second text. You see text 1 and text 2. Mary, comma, and then we have text 2, which is Kasui like that. And then you close bracket. But once you do that, you'll be able to realize that there is a problem. Because if you concatenate like that, then automatically you'll be able to see here that Mary Kasui, you don't have space in between. Then what do? Just come and say F2 there. I have my formula. In between here, now you need to introduce the open quotation. Open quotation, open, close quotation, I mean. Then of course there must be a comma. And then in between these quotations, come and put a space there, like that. And then you enter. When you enter like that, you're able to get Mary Kasui, and then you come and drag this down. So which one do you think is easier that we need to stick with? Should we stick with this concatenate function, or should we work with this ampersand and? There are people who love concatenate, like me. I love concatenate because I don't need to be putting those and two of them or three. You know, if, for example, you had 3 names, you put so many ands in between. You'll end up putting those ampersands, very many of them. But if I say Control Z here, check this. I'm using concatenate. I'm using concatenate. So here they want text 1, and then they want me to put comma, and then pick text 2, which is Kasui. And then I'll come and remember very fast that in between text 1 and text 2, I need space. So I'll come back after the comma there, after the comma. And then I say open quotation, close quotation, put a comma, because the quotation should be separated. Put a comma there, right? And then remember very fast that in between the 2 quotations, I need to come here and say space. And then I say, I don't even have to close anything. Mary Kasui is up there. Go back there, and then I drag. I really love the concatenation. I can't compare this with what here, the ampersand, because ampersand will always give you issues, especially in Python. It'll give you issues when you want to connect so many things together. It'll give you issues. So concatenation is the best approach. Do you agree? Or is there somebody who sticks better? But I would want us to work with concatenate. It's much easier, because when the words are very meant to be concatenated, then concatenate becomes, yes, in the case of more names, use what you call concatenate. If, for example, there are more, assuming in this case here, for example, if I was to come here, assuming in this case here, if I say Control Shift, I add a column here. Assuming, ladies and gentlemen, this lady here called Mary, for example, had another name. Which name do I give her now? Assuming she has another name, a secret name. Which name do we give her now? Assuming she is also called McKenna, right? And then I would want to concatenate her 3 names. How do I do this? I'll come and say concatenate. Concatenate. I can see it there, it's up there. So I'll pick Mary, I say comma, I pick McKenna, I say comma, I pick Kasui, like that. And then now I come in between this. So what I'll do, I'll come after the first comma. Open quotation, close quotation, comma. I come here, in between the 2 quotations, I say space. I go to this other comma after F5. Open quotation, close quotation, I say comma, and then I come back there and open up this space. And then I'll be able to say enter. So you can see Mary McKenna Kasui, like that, with spaces in between. This is very important for any accountant. Very important for any accountant. This is very important for any accountant. The silence there is deafening. The silence there is deafening. The silence there is deafening. So it doesn't matter whether there are 10 of them. It's about practice. 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 Great. Great. So we have spent over 30 minutes. We were to do exactly 1 hour, right? Now, if you look at, for example, the students that we have been doing this advanced Excel with, is there anything that is yet to be covered? I think now we have covered everything. The students who are doing Excel alone now need to chase them away. So that now from tomorrow, we start, in this case, you're doing the Power BI. The Power BI. The Power BI. And of course, any other student who is here, these accountants, like I can see my fellow ISPAC member, Agnes Alukwe. I taught Agnes Alukwe over 10 years ago, long time ago. Now we are a member with her at ISPAC. You know, CPA is a very good course. It makes us equal, but it has no equal. It makes all of us equal, but it has got no equal, right? So all these CPA members that I taught long time ago, you must come back to my class, that analytic class, and I teach you again. It's an opportunity that KASNEB has given me to teach you again. You only pay 8,000. And of course, if you want to join us, please don't hesitate. Call us. Our number is 0719 525,000. You can't regret doing data analytics. You can't regret doing data analytics. A career guidance session, but I normally do this in Jugush every day. Every day, I normally do this. I'm also giving you guys investment talks. I really sacrifice. Perhaps in Juguna, you've been missing out on this. I don't know which group we are in together. Yeah, mentorship is key. Mentorship is key. Mentorship is key. Even to your mwalimu up to date, I still have a mentor, and I really walk in his footsteps like this. You must have a mentor. So I normally mentor quite few. I also don't want to mentor so many people for free, but I really want to know your passion. Where do you want to go to? Are you a person who can also be changed, or you are that kind of a person who is so difficult, you know, right? Yes. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. You need a mentor, Evelyn. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. In a year, I should mentor like 10 people. I can't mentor all of you, personal. It will be, although we can now do quite many numbers because we don't have to meet physically. We don't have to meet physically.